I've mentioned before in one of my first videos on this channel that I'm a retro game collector, which essentially means I have an unhealthy addiction to plastic crap that is somehow worth far more money than it realistically should be. However, in that video, I briefly mentioned the rest of my video game collection without really calling attention to it. And that's not even including the bins of like my old Xbox 360 games and Wii games and other random collector shit that I just don't have on display. That whole video is about whether or not game collectors are just hoarders, and to be honest, it wasn't my organized shelves of retro games that initially gave me the idea to write that script, although that is what I focused on. In reality, it was these baddies hiding away in my closet. Multiple bins of games, all purchased by me, yet hiding away out of sight in my house instead of being on display. Why? What's the point of having these if I clearly don't even want to look at them? Well, I mean, it's not quite that cut and dry. It's not that I don't want to look at them, it's more so I just don't have room to display them. Plus, they're all fairly modern games, they just, I don't know, aren't as interesting to have on display as the wall of gray plastic cartridges that I have. The obvious answer would be to Marie Kondo my closet, right? If something doesn't have an organized place in my home, just get rid of it. But these still spark joy. They're a huge part of my life, man. Like, high school through my early adulthood was spent immersing myself in the incredible stories held on the shiny discs that are hidden in these plastic cases. They are strangely sentimental to me. Like, going through these bins that have been locked away in my closet for years is, I don't know, it's making me feel something. But the sad reality is, I'll probably never play any of these again. I justify keeping them by saying, well, maybe, but realistically, probably not. Like most of you modern gamers these days that have made the jump from console to PC, my Steam library has a few hundred games in it, organized neatly into folders. Always a banger for the old reliables when I don't know what to play, in progress for things that I'm in the middle of playing. Need to play, done, probably won't revisit, multiplayer for when I want to hang out with the boys, It's just way more convenient, and it's becoming increasingly more difficult for me to justify pulling out these bins, hooking up my 360, and plopping a game in when I have access to like 75 games on Steam that I haven't even played yet. Now, you notice I said have access to, not own. We'll get into that later. When the alternative is just click play and then lean back in your chair, I mean, yeah, that's gonna be the move. But it's kind of a sad departure from what was the norm, right? That said, I want to take a look at what's starting to feel like the long-lost days of physical media. It's something that I'm pretty passionate about, honestly, or at least I pretend to be to justify my hoarding tendencies, so it's been on my mind a lot lately. With all that out of the way, let's Pokemon Go to the video. I'm so bad at transitions, dude. So, physical media is exactly what it sounds like, a source of media that you can physically hold. Not a game that's stored on your hard drive that has to talk to the Steam network every time you open it. It's not a movie that you stream from a server located God knows where. It's a tangible item that you own and have access to at all times. In the before times, it was the only possible way of gaming. You could watch TV that you didn't own. You could tune into radio stations to listen to music that you didn't own. But video games could only be accessed via physical means. That Honda Odyssey looking ass console, these were the games. The Fairchild Channel F, here you go. Arcade games, Atari, the NES, like throughout the inception of video games, this was the only method. And it was the best method.
It's just like your opinion, man.
I talked about the convenience of clicking play and leaning back in your chair, and that can't be denied. But I'm not going to pretend like it's the best option. There's something special about slapping a cartridge into a system, clicking the power button, getting annoyed that it didn't immediately start up, pulling the cartridge out, blowing in it, trying the whole ritual again, and then leaning back to play a game. Aside from the ritual scratching your monkey brain, like, physical games also allowed for two major things: sharing and renting games. Oh baby, Grandpa Boomer Brain BitPixel's finally talking about Blockbuster on his nostalgia-riddled channel. I mean, come on, we've got to eventually tick off all of the nostalgia bait YouTuber topic boxes, right? I don't want to dive too far into it because, again, plenty before me have already covered it, but the death of physical media literally led to the death of an entire, very large, might I add, industry of businesses that revolved around media rental. Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, Family Video, Movie Gallery, like whatever your rental store of choice was, these were at some point important pillars of your local society. My family was a Blockbuster family, so, we were better than you Hollywood Video peasants, but the idea is similar. I pointed out in my video, Internet Killed the Video Star, that YouTube was my first experience as a kid with choice. The first time I had a true moment of, I can just pick whatever I want to watch right now without having to wait through commercials or go to a movie theater. Well, that was a fucking lie, because Blockbuster was. Like a lot of us in this age group, this was my actual first experience with choice. And it was magical. Like, literally, like, if the arcade was the coolest place in the world that you could visit as a kid, Blockbuster was a pretty close second. It feels weird describing this experience because it feels like, I don't know, almost like a rite of passage to life. Like, it was such a positive thing that everyone experienced, and it just died overnight, thanks in large part to Netflix and this website that you're currently on. My demographic here on YouTube is generally people in my age bracket, but for those that watch and are younger, you really did lose out on something incredible with the death of the rental store. Like, imagine Netflix or your streaming platform of choice, right? But it's a real place that you get to visit like once a week. Everything is organized in a similar way. You have your comedy section, your cartoon section, whatever. But these sections are real tangible aisles in a store that you get to walk through and peruse. Like, those big movies that everyone's talking about, those are there too, and they're probably near the front or they're on an end cap or something. You know, kind of like how they're front and center when you open Netflix. But as you explore the aisles, like, you might just find something new that none of your friends have heard about or recommended. And you get to pick them up and look at them and read the synopsis on the back. And like, I don't know. And it's not just movies, my dude. Like, these stores all had gaming sections as well. Do you know how many games I was able to play as a kid in the 90s thanks to Blockbuster? Like, I've mentioned it before, but I come from a, how do you say, less affluent background, right? I didn't just get a new game as a kid because my parents were feeling generous some random night or because I got good grades or something. Like, the only time a gift was in the budget would be birthdays or Christmas. But rental stores, that's where you found the next game you were going to ask for your birthday, right? My siblings and I, we were always allowed one game every time we went to Blockbuster, right? My dad would get like a movie or three, and we would always get a game. Usually we went on a Friday night, we'd play the game through the weekend, and then, you know, my dad would go return everything Monday after work. It's a system that worked so well, and it makes absolutely zero sense in 2025. But it's just such a fond memory, dude. Like, do you think in 20 years, people that are kids now are going to be making YouTube videos about how much they miss turning on their Xbox, opening the Netflix app, and perusing through different movies until they found the exact one that they, you know, opened the app to watch? Hell no, dude. Modern day technology is not about creating an experience, it's about convenience. The rituals of the past that our entertainment was built around have all been replaced with convenience. Convenience is great, but when literally everything is convenient, it kind of blurs reality and makes inconvenience feel way more miserable than it should. I don't know, that's getting off track here. We don't need to get into like a philosophical debate about that, but in a nutshell, physical media didn't die out because it sucked, it died out because convenience manipulated us into giving up ownership. I mentioned it during the intro when I said I have access to a huge library of games on Steam, but like, I don't actually own them though, and that just feels weird to think about that. I have 283 games currently just sitting there, yet if Steam ever shuts down, that's thousands of dollars just gone. We see it happen with media all the time. It's just a normal thing now. That show that you really liked on Netflix, well, hey, now it's gone and it's only on Tubi. So if you want to watch it again, you got to sign up for a new subscription service. That movie that you've been putting off watching, but you're finally ready to sit down and put on, like, ooh, sorry kiddo, that's only on the Roku channel now. Hulu doesn't have it anymore. I'm so over it, dude. It's already so normalized with movies and TV. What happens when this becomes the norm for video games? Oh wait, it's kind of already started, right? I own Rocket League on Steam, but you can't buy it on Steam anymore, only on the Epic Games Store. So if you want Rocket League now and you don't have an Epic account, well, hey, tough titties, bud, it's time to add more bloatware to your PC. How is this a better option than open case, open disk drive, slap game in, play game? Like, nostalgia aside, I'm just gonna list the upsides of physical media really quick. Alright, I own it. I can let a friend borrow it. There's no DRM holding it back from being played. The games don't need to patch. They have nice box art and little informational inserts that are fun to read through. They can be backed up to my computer to be preserved. So that way, you know, if the disc ever dies, I still have my copy. And if I'm ever done with it and I decide that I don't want it anymore, I can sell it. And a lot of these old baddies, you know, I can sell for a profit. What are the upsides to digital media? It's way more convenient. It's faster load times because it's not reading off of a disk. And yeah, man, that's all I can come up with. It just doesn't feel as good. A server can just shut down and then a game is just gone forever. Do you know how fucking badly I want to play My Coke Studios again? And unless this fan project is ever finished, it's never gonna happen. And even if it does, like, will it be complete or will it just feel similar, you know? We don't own shit anymore, and that's the point, right? It sucks. And this is the reason why I won't Marie Kondo my old games, because they are, in fact, my games that I own forever. I don't know, I'm not trying to sit here and pretend like physical media is the end-all be-all perfect solution to everything, because realistically it's not. You know, VHS tapes degrade over time, vinyls will warp if they're stored improperly, CDs rot, you get disc rot. And, you know, the batteries in your cartridge games, I mean, they're gonna die. Your original Pokemon from when you were a kid, they're either dead or they're dying. And apparently my cartridge still works, but, you know, dying doesn't necessarily mean dead, right? The point is, it's easy to feel like you're just being blinded by nostalgia by choosing physical media over digital, because, I mean, like I said, realistically, digital is more convenient. But it's not really about that. It's more so just about ownership and control and choosing inconvenience over the potential of loss, you know? Like, again, I just want to play My Coke Studios. This whole video is just about me wanting to play My Coke Studios. I'm really upset about it, right? I think this is a good spot to put a pin in it. That's really all I have to say about physical media. I appreciate you sticking to the end with me. You know, this is probably going to be the last video I make for 2025. We're sitting here, I'm recording this on the 18th right now, so, you know, this is gonna just be my Christmas video. Yeah, Merry Christmas. You don't own anything. Your life is terrible. Just everything you consume is on a server somewhere instead of, but it's either way, you know. Thanks again for sticking to the end with me. And hey, have a happy new year. We'll see you in 2026.